My bad. I just got finished watching some Seagal movies. My goal is to do about 3 to 5 videos a day. But since it's like the weekend and I took yesterday off, I figured I could squeeze one more in. So here's the thing: if you don't know, Golovkin is rumored to be making $2.5 million to fight Danny Jacobs on pay-per-view. And Danny Jacobs is rumored to make $1.75 million. We don't know how much they're getting on the back end of pay-per-view, or it's hard for people to even gauge what this pay-per-view will do as far as pay-per-view buys is concerned. Is this a 200K pay-per-view buy? Now, the number was that Golovkin versus Lemieux did 150. Whether you want to believe that, that's up to you. I believe it did 150. Some want to say it did what, under 90, or 120 or 90 or 120, but I believe it really did that 150. Which, if you look at the purses, which the purses for that fight, if I remember, I don't remember the purses, but I remember doing a video on it. It was a successful event. So what is the success rate of this event? Now, people have been wondering, why is this fight on pay-per-view and not HBO? It's because in order to get these fighters this money, in this day and age, you can't have a fighter fight on HBO. You can't have two A-side fighters fight on HBO or Showtime and both make, $1.5 million each. Now, when it comes to free TV, CBS, they're able to do that. But as far as HBO, if two fighters are going to make over $1 million or $1.5 million, then it's got to go on pay-per-view with these budgets. These HBO budgets are concerned. And truth be told, I have no issues paying with it on HBO pay-per-view. But the only thing is, you can't count me. It's because since I make money off of these videos, since I make money off of covering boxing, then it is my job to give back to the sport. You see what I'm saying? So I have to buy these fights, and I enjoy buying the fights. Because I like to watch them in high definition and be able to fast forward and rewind on my DVR and all that instead of worrying about some fucking bullshit, cheap, broke motherfucking stream. But anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. We're getting ready for the weekend. It's 5:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, March the 17th, 2017. In about, about maybe 9 hours or so? No, 4 hours or so. We're going to have a PBC One bounce card. Highlighted by the main event, Travis Kaufman versus Amanda Mansour. I'm going to be covering that card, and then a card I'm highly looking forward to that you can watch on Facebook, on YouTube, and on the Top Rank website. Also, I will be putting all the information in and the link, and you will be able to watch the entire card on FightView 360. I'm going to put the link is right down below. So the link is not going to be live until about 10 p.m. tonight or so, and then all the information will be there for you to be able to watch on your phone, or your computer or whatever. So if you want to watch the Mike Conlan fight, Conor McGregor is going to be there. It's in Madison Square Garden too on the night before Golovkin versus Jacobs, and it's going to be a pretty lit card, especially with the fact that it's St. Patrick's Day. So with that being said, moving on to the subject of the video, here's the thing: I'm still torn on if Golovkin should have took that $10 million or not. Now, I understand what you're saying. Well, he's only making $2.5 million from this fight, and he's not even a pay-per-view star. Why should he get $10 million? I understand what you're saying, but understand that if you put two fighters together, even if one doesn't pull in the same numbers as the other one, putting them two together creates a certain type of buzz that we really don't know what the pay-per-view buys can do. Now, me personally, I don't really believe that it's a 1.5 million pay-per-view buy fight, meaning Golovkin versus Canelo or Canelo versus Golovkin. Do I feel that Canelo versus Chavez is? Yes. 1.2, 3, 1.5 is the max, and it would be a super success. But when it comes to Canelo versus Golovkin, I don't feel that Canelo versus Golovkin is truly in over $1 million buy fight. I do feel it can do $1 million, but I don't feel that it's a fight that's over $1 million buys, in my personal opinion. Just by covering these fights for now, seriously 4 years, but I've been on YouTube for close to 7 now. I've covered hundreds of fights, done thousands and thousands of videos at this point in time, and knowing what we know, just like you hardcore fans know about pay-per-view numbers. Do you really see that? Now we know that Canelo's going to be bringing the bulk of the pay-per-view. Him alone will bring 300 to 400 to 500,000 pay-per-view buys. 400 tops, him alone. Now you match him up with Golovkin, who we have fans who don't like Golovkin because of his resume. We have fans who support Golovkin because of his resume. We have a lot of Mexican fans who are now really in love with him. Also with his overseas backing, but we can't count the overseas because they don't count towards American pay-per-view buys. The point I'm trying to make is I know that you're going to have a strong African-American demographic to buy Canelo versus Golovkin, but how strong? You see what I'm saying? Like how really strong is Golovkin's name, but not only Golovkin's, but Canelo's in the African-American community because, when I talk to my friends that I grew up with, the ones that don't watch boxing like I do, they really don't know who Canelo is. They refer to him, the boy that fought, the Mexican boy that fought, that's how they be. They fought Mayweather. So it's hard to say. Now, we know that when Golovkin fights, he does pull great ratings on HBO. But how many of them are going to be like, oh yeah, Canelo the boy that fought Mayweather versus the Russian dude, because that's what they refer to him as. He's not even Russian. You see what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the casual boxing fans. Like, will they say, oh yeah, I'm buying that pay-per-view? Now, we know Mexican and Hispanic households will support the shit out of this fight. But are they enough to take Canelo versus Golovkin over 1 million buys? Remember, Cotto versus Canelo was supposed to do like 2 million buys. Remember that shit people were talking? That shit, they was talking, yeah, it's going to, do 1.5 to 2 million. That shit did 900K barely. You see what I'm saying? So there's many questions, and I'm wondering, should Golovkin take that? The offer is supposed to be 15 now. Should he take that 15 million flat rate? Many want to bring up about how Floyd Mayweather took that flat 20 from Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya took everything. It was kind of like a rite of passage. He paid his dues. And $10 million or $15 million in this day and age in boxing, fighters are not making that shit. So I understand that, it's not really known what the potential of Golovkin versus Canelo or Canelo versus Golovkin is going to be. We don't really know. But judging from what we've seen, I do feel that the fight will be a success. I do feel that Canelo versus Golovkin will do close to or around 1 million, but I just don't see it like 1.5, like people are saying. Damn it, my fucking tea is getting cold. I just don't see it. So this is something that we're going to have to talk about, and also we can't look past Danny Jacobs because Danny Jacobs is in a situation to fuck up a lot of people money, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Because a lot of people are relying on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. to be unfocused and to be weight drained when he gets in the ring. But guess what? He's showing no signs of such. So I mean, it's so many questions. So as I said, if you want to see the full details, if you want to see any details, we've been doing a pretty good job covering this fight as far as the website is concerned. Fight View 360. Go right down below. Check it out. And as you know, or as I said, it is said that Golovkin is going to make $2.5 million. And Danny Jacobs, $1.75 million. Danny Jacobs would not have been making that much if the fight would have went to purse bid, which is the reason why they went back to the table to negotiate in the first place. But that'll be going way back down memory lane. Also, if you don't know, it is heavily rumored that Billy Joe Saunders is supposed to be there, and Billy Joe Saunders mandatory it's safe to say that he took step-aside money because he's fighting Tommy Langford, if I'm correct, for an interim title, the WBO interim title at 160 pounds. Now, look into the definition of an interim title, or more so the WBO interim title rules. Billy Joe Saunders is not injured, so which means that Billy Joe Saunders is likely fighting Golovkin next, because the only thing that trumps a mandatory, and he had 2 back-to-back, remember, the only thing that trumps a mandatory is a unification. And what unification it is. Now, that's why I did want to make it to New York this weekend, but as you can hear, I got a cold, so I didn't want to risk it. I wanted to ask, I wanted to kind of throw like a trick question in there, between, either Abel Sanchez. I mean, truth be told, I'm never really interested in interviewing Golovkin, even though I get the chance. I'm going to do it just because, just so I can have it on the channel. But he's gonna be saying some old gibberish shit, and he's probably gonna say I'm crazy, and he's not gonna really answer your question. So that's why I would want to interview Abel Sanchez or Tom Loeffler to be able to ask, like, well, how many times is Golovkin gonna fight this year? Is it confirmed that he's going to fight 2 more times this year? And if they say, well, yes, then I'm going to assume that, okay, well, he's going to fight in June and September. Or, September or December or some shit like that. I don't know. But I would try to find ways to try to ask questions to, the different members in the camp to try to knock down walls with each one. Like, for example, ask him, okay, well, if he says he's going to fight 2 times this year, then I ask, somebody else, well, is there any types of talks, or any type of discussion that has been going on with Canelo's team, some shit like that, But it is what it is. So we're gonna find out tomorrow night, man. I want to root for Danny Jacobs, but in my personal opinion, he is the underdog for a reason. He is the underdog for a reason. And at this point in time, it's not my job to root for people anymore anyway. My job is just to goddamn tell the news. So I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. And also, please visit FightView360.com for all your details involving boxing. And listen, I didn't just build no website to have no website. I keep telling you that. So if you think what you're seeing now is what it's going to be, you really have no idea. So once things getting organized, I'm on a nice little, how can I put it? I'm doing about 3 to 5 videos a day to try not to, overexert myself. And then I'm putting out, consistent content on the website daily. And then as time goes on, we're bringing more people on. Things are going to get real aggressive. 2017 is the year. Please subscribe.